What up? Now, today in class, we went over a difficult topic because a lot of you guys were complaining in class saying that it was hard and there was too many steps and it was confusing. So, yesterday we went over distributive property on both sides, right? Sometimes some of the multi-step equations had distributive property on one side, sometimes they had on both sides, and you were good with it. Now we jumped into distributive property and combining like terms, a combination of terms. And a lot of you guys were complaining that it was too difficult. So I'm going to go over 4 problems that were in the worksheet given today. So obviously the front ones outlined step by step by step. So I'm just going to go over the problems that are in the back of the worksheet. I'm going to do the first 4. Maybe I'll do an extra one just for you. Okay, so here we go. Honestly, it's the same steps, Pete, so we're just adding... like I said, we're just adding an extra step. Equals 12 minus 4x. Okay, here we go. So this is one of the problems that we went over today. In class, I did tell you to use a highlighter just to keep everything organized, and it actually helped a lot of students, just based upon the years I taught this, and I've used this strategy, and it helps. So if you have a highlighter in hand, use it. So here we go, people. So the first thing is, if you notice, we have parentheses. We don't like parentheses, okay? Parentheses usually tell you to use something we call the distributive property, which I went over the previous video. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, watch the video from yesterday, and then go ahead and start watching this one. So when we have parentheses, we do distributive property. So what I would do is I would highlight the parentheses. So I'm going to underline because obviously I can't highlight the whiteboard. So I'm going to highlight the parentheses, but I'm also going to highlight the number in front of the parentheses. I'm also going to highlight that number. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. This 2 is going to multiply this x and this 7. Now remember the strategy that I taught you yesterday. If there's a positive number outside, then the signs stay the same. But if this number would have been negative, then the numbers will switch sides. So in this case, we're multiplying by a positive number. Therefore, these signs stay the same. So if that's positive, it's going to stay positive. If this is negative, it's going to stay negative. Okay? Now the only thing you do is just multiply. 2 times x is 2x. So we have 2x. 2 times 7 is 14. But we drop this minus sign here. We drop it. Did we touch these guys over here? We didn't. So we're also going to drop this minus 10 equals, drop this 12, drop this minus 4x. And this is what we have, and this is where some of you guys were confused in class. So now the next thing is, we have a lot of junk. If you notice the left side of the equation versus the right side of the equation, the left side is a little bit more sloppy looking. So what I'm going to still do is, I'm still going to draw the barrier. Okay? I like drawing a rectangle on each side of the equation. So, boom, rectangle, rectangle. Look at this rectangle on the left. Could I combine anything in this rectangle to make it a lot neater? Does this have common terms that I can combine? Well, I can't combine the 2x with the 14 because the 2x has a variable and the 14 doesn't. So I can't combine these. I can combine these because these are numbers. So I would have gotten my highlighter today in class, and I would have highlighted this and highlighted that. Okay, so I could combine minus 14 and negative 20. Negative 14 plus negative 10. Well, I said negative 20. Sorry, I messed up. No. Negative 14 plus negative 10. Same sign add. You get 14 plus 10 is 24. So out of this whole thing, it pops out to be minus 24. Can you combine the 2x with anybody in here? No, you can't. So you drop the 2x. You got it? So I combined everything in here first, then I dropped it down. Could I combine anything in this rectangle? Could anything in this rectangle be combined before I drop it? Well, you can't. So therefore, I'm going to drop these numbers right here. 12 minus 4x. And look at that. Now it became a problem that you know how to do. Let me go over the same step again. You look at this rectangle and you notice, well, there's a lot of mess here. So I can combine these two numbers first. So 14 plus 10 is negative 24. A lot of students like doing this. Do not do this, please. Every year it happens. You say, oh, then I'll do plus 14 plus 14. That's incorrect. That's wrong. That's horrible. That's a horrible mistake. Okay? You only change signs if you go to the opposite side of the equation. But in this case, we're on the same side. So we combine, and now we go. We're good to go. So now I'm going to go pretty fast on this step because you should already know how to do this. If you're struggling also in this step, you need to go back and watch our first video about multi-step equations. So I know I have to box this, plus 4x, plus 4x. That cancels out. There's no such thing as a 0x. 2 plus 4 is 6x. Drop the minus 24. Drop the equal sign. Drop the 12. There it is. Circle the variable. Please do not say you're going to do minus 12. No, you're not doing that. Heck no. You focus on the side where the bubble is. Here's the bubble. Who's not inside the bubble? The minus 24 is not. So then you do plus 24, plus 24. That cancels out. I don't have any more room, so I'm going to come over here. 6x equals 12 plus 24, 36. So now you just divide by 6, x equals 6. And that's the answer for the first problem. Once again, the only new step that we're doing is, we already did distributive property, you already know how to do that. It's this step, combining like terms. That's a new step that you're going to do, the combination. You good with this one? Let's go over number 2 in the back of this worksheet. Yes, I get it. It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of work. But people, you need to get used to it. This is high school math. This is what you're going to see again in 9th grade. Okay, it's like, come on now. Let's go over this one. Y minus 5 equals 3 minus 9. Y plus 2. Okay, same thing. You look at this problem. Okay, it seems pretty simple. You highlight, get your highlighter, highlight the parentheses. So I'm not going to highlight because you can't highlight, so I'm going to underline the parentheses. That's my parentheses. That means I have to do that first. But you also have to get the number in front of the parentheses. So you have to get this minus 9 as well. Okay, so you have to grab this whole thing. So that means I have to distribute. This is probably the worst mistake students make. Oh, 3 minus 9 is negative 6. Y plus 2, and then I distribute. That's wrong. This 9 is literally attached to this parentheses. That's why I like highlighting the parentheses and the number in front. So this is attached to that. So you can't do this. Okay, so be careful with that. Now, remember on previous video what we said? You're multiplying by a negative number, so all the signs in here change signs. So if that's a positive 1y, it's now going to become a negative 1y. If that's a positive 2, it will become a negative 2. So now we're going to go ahead and distribute, multiply. 9 times y is 9y, but it's a negative 9y. 9 times 2 is an 18, but it's a negative 18. Boom. You see that? The signs. Drop everything that you didn't touch. I didn't touch the y. I didn't touch the minus 5. I didn't touch the equal. And I didn't touch the 3. So there you go. Now I like doing my rectangles once again. Here's a rectangle here. Here's a rectangle here. This rectangle prevents me from doing illegal stuff in terms of solving equations, okay? So, I mean, if you don't want to do the rectangles, you don't have to, but I mean, like I said, it's like a good way to organize your thinking. If you look at the left rectangle, can I combine anything in the left rectangle? No. So all of that pops out. So this y minus 5 pops out. Like that. Boom. Equals. Let's go to this rectangle. Is there something in this rectangle that you could combine before you start moving things around? Well, you can't combine the 3 with this 9 because that has a y. but I can combine number with number. I can combine this 3 with this minus 18. So 3 plus minus 18, same sign or different signs. It's different. What do you do with the numbers? Subtract them. So that's 15. Do you have more positives or more negatives? Well, more negatives. So that would become negative 15. Then you drop the minus 9y. Minus 9y. And now it has become a problem that you should already know how to do. Simple. Okay, actually personally I like putting a 1 in front of this y, just so it looks good, that coefficient. Okay, now we're going to solve this one. I'm going to go fast on this one because you should already know how to do this. Okay, box my biggest variable term. Draw my barrier. Plus 9y. Plus 9y. Cancels out. There's no such thing as a 0y. 1 plus 9 is 10y. Drop this, drop this. Minus 5 equals minus 15. Okay? Circle your variable. This is my variable. Who do I get rid of? Do not say the minus 15 because you're not getting rid of this one. You focus on the side where the variable is. So you have to get rid of the one that's not inside the bubble, the minus 5. Inverse operation is plus 5, plus 5. That cancels out. I'm going to move over here because I don't have any more room. Then you have 10y equals, your signs are screwing some of you up. Same sign or different signs? Different. So subtract 10. Do you have more negatives or more positives? More negatives. So that's negative. Okay? Then we're almost there. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. Remember, the last step is always the bare. Negative, negative I, divided by positive I, gives you negative. So I know that 10 divided by 10 is negative 1. So this is the answer for that problem. Negative 1. Simple, people. It's just combining before you start solving the problem. So this was number 2. Let's go to number 3 now. Three. 70 minus 11 equals negative 4. 2t plus 5 minus 21. Okay, this is what we have now. I see a parentheses. I attack the parentheses. That's the first thing I do. And I also highlight or underline the number in front of the parentheses. So I have to do that one first. I always do parentheses first. So we have a negative number. When we have a negative number, all the signs in here switch. So if he was positive, he switches to a negative. If he was positive, he also switches to the negative. So I already have my signs ready. 4 times, now it's just multiplying. 4 times 2 is 8t, but that 8t is going to be negative. 4 times 5 is 20, but that 20 is going to be negative. Did I touch the other ones? No, you didn't. Drop them. Drop the 17 minus 11 equals. Drop the minus 21. Next step is like, I'm almost there, but I have a lot of mess going on here. There's a lot of mess happening. Okay? So then I'm a box or rectangle one side, just to organize my thoughts. Look at the one on the left. Can you combine anything on the left? Anything could combine. Well, no, because that has a variable and that one doesn't. So I drop those. You could drop them. 7t minus 11 equals. Let's look over here. Can I combine the 8t or the minus 8t with any of these? You can't, because he's the only one with the variable. But I can combine these because these are constants, these are numbers. So I can combine minus 20 and minus 21. Same sign or different signs? Same. So 20 negatives plus 21 negatives. Hopefully you say it's 41 negatives. Okay? And then drop the negative 8t down. And there you go. There's a problem that you already masters at solving. Okay, again, it's this step of combination. Today's questions are only combined in one side. Wait until next video. You're going to have to combine them on 2 sides. Okay? Now let's continue solving this. I'm going to go fast, like I said. barrier, circle the biggest one, or box it. Inverse operation, inverse operation. Again, if you're having trouble with this one, you need to watch the previous videos. There's no such thing as a 0t. 7 plus 8 is 15t. Drop the minus 11 equals, drop the minus 41. We're almost there. Barrier, circle. Please do not say you're going to do plus 41, plus 41. That's wrong. Focus where the bubble is. The bubble's on the left. Who do you get rid of? That's not inside the bubble. The minus 11. The inverse operation of a minus 11 is a positive 11. Positive 11. We'll move over here. So yeah, 15t equals same sign or different signs. Different. What do you do with the numbers? Subtract them. So 41 minus 11, I know it's 30. Who's bigger? Do you have more negatives or more positives? We'll have more negatives. I'm almost done. This is the last step. Divide. And remember the rule? The bear puts you to sleep. So you use the bear at the end. So then that becomes a 1. Negative, so take out one of the negative i's. Divided by positive, take out one of the positives. So then your answer is negative. 30 divided by 15 is 2. And that's the answer for number 3. One more? Do you want to do one more? Let's do one more. Let's do number 4. Like I'm doing your homework. Dang. Four. Number 4. X minus 9 equals negative 18 plus 8. 2x plus 3. Okay, here we go. You look at it, we have parentheses. Let's do parentheses. And somebody goes like, what happened to the decimals? What happened to the fraction? Believe me, we could throw you decimals and fractions in these as well. So don't just get used to like, oh, it's going to be simple. Okay, so we're going to do parentheses first. Well, we're multiplying by a positive number. That means all these sides stay the same. So if he was positive, he remains positive. He was also positive, he remains positive. You don't switch signs. You only switch signs if this was a negative. So let's multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. X positive. 8 times 3 is 24. Positive. Did you touch these guys over here? No, you didn't. So drop x minus 9 equals negative 18. The next step I like doing is the rectangle step. Rectangle. To organize my thoughts. Boom. Rectangle, rectangle. Look at the left rectangle. Is there anything you could combine on this rectangle right here? No, you can't. So I would, what am I talking about? I would drop this. There is no like terms. Let's look over here. Is there any like terms in this side? Well, you can't combine the 16x with none of these. But I could combine the numbers though, the constants. The negative 18 plus the 24. I could combine them because they're numbers. Well, do you have the same sign or different signs? Different. So what do you do with the numbers? Subtract them. So 24 minus 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6. Okay? 6. Will that 6 be positive or negative? Let me ask you this. Do you have more negatives or more positives? More positives. So he's positive 6. And then this drops down. Have you guys noticed a pattern in terms of the rules of integers? Do you notice that we always use same sign or different signs throughout the whole problem? And the only time you use a bear is at the end? That always happens in equations, people. Okay? You use same sign, different signs. And all the problem, just at the end on your last step, you always use the bear. So stop messing up with the signs, please. Okay, now we have something easy. I like putting a 1 in front of the x just because it looked weird. Draw the barrier. Who's bigger, 1x or 16x? Well, it's a 16x. Okay, so let's go ahead and do minus 1x, minus 1x. There's no such thing as a 0x. Okay, so drop the minus 9 equals, drop the 6. 16 minus 1 is 15x. There it is. Circle your variable. Focus on the side where the variable is. Who do I get rid of here? Who's not inside the bubble? The 6 is not inside the bubble. So the inverse of a positive 6 is minus 6. Minus 6. That cancels. I don't have any more room. Once again, same sign or different signs? Different. So, I'm sorry. Same sign. Add the numbers. So that's minus 15 equals 15x. It's the last step. Use the bear. Divide by 15. Divide by 15. A negative divided by a positive is negative. So I know my answer is negative, and it's going to be a negative 1. And don't remember, I did like this, so you won't get minus points in high school. That's how you do multi-step equations. I'm going to do one more, so you could see that you could also get special answers. Let's go over number 9 on this worksheet. One more. So there's no complaining about, I don't get it. This is too much. It's too hard. Like I said, I'm doing all your homework. Number 9. Negative 4. 2x minus 3 plus 6 equals 2. Negative 4x plus 9. Here we go. Ooh, I have double parentheses. That means I have to do it twice. That happens a lot. So I have to grab the parentheses, and you also have to grab the number in front of the parentheses. Okay, this one has a negative. That means I have to switch all the signs here. So if he was positive, he's now negative. If he was negative, he's positive. So you switch the signs. This guy is all positive. So that means the signs stay the same. Signs stay the same. So let's go ahead and attack it. 4 times 2 is 8x, but drop the minus. 4 times 3 is 12. Drop the plus. And you didn't touch this plus 6, so I'm going to drop it. Equals 2 times 4 is 8x. Drop the minus. 2 times 9 is 18. Drop the plus. You see that? I like doing my rectangle step. If you don't like doing this rectangle step because like I already know what to do, then fine. Leave it like that. Okay, here we go. I always look at the left rectangle. I know I can't combine this one because that one has a variable, but I can combine the 12 positives and 6 positives. 12 and 6 gives me 18. So I have 18 plus, drop the negative 8x. Oh, look. Drop these because you got to combine. Wow. Identical twins. You know that these will cancel out, so you're left with 18 equals to 18, which at the end should give you many solutions. And that's it, people. That's how you solve a multi-step equation with distributive property and combining like terms. Yes, it's a lot of steps. It's a lot of integers, but the steps make sense. Obviously, I have to combine in each rectangle before I move on. So tomorrow, or on the next video, what we're going to do is, it's going to be the same setup, but now, you notice that in every problem, you only combine on one side? The next video is we're going to combine 2 sides of the equation. And that's it for today's video. Happy Valentine's Day! I guess, it's not even Valentine's Day.